everyone. In our last episode, we sailed a little over 40 nautical miles from Islas Cedros to Bahia Tortugas. We got into a little bit of mild drama on the way when we snagged a lobster pot, but our trusty crew, Andy, went in and saved the day and dove overboard and got us untied. So this next trip is going to take us to Bahia Santa Maria. This will be our second longest passage of the voyage so far, at about 246 nautical miles. Now, initially, I thought we would skip Bahia Santa Maria and head directly to Cabo San Lucas, but we decided to stay at Bahia Santa Maria just for a little bit of a rest break. Turned out actually being a super cool stop, so stay tuned through the end to see what we found there at Bahia Santa Maria. And we're not going to be in as big of a hurry because this is going to be, 3 days plus maybe a little bit offshore. So maybe about 3 days. I'll have to go and look at what our ETA is going to be and what kind of speed we're making and all that. But we expect to arrive Saturday evening or Sunday morning into Cabo. And then from there, we'll make a decision where we're going to go. I'm saying at this point, most likely we'll sail to Mazatlan. So, adios, Bahia Tortugas. Adios. All right, 5:09, we're heading offshore. And we are making 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", so a little under 7 knots. 19 knots of true with 16 or so apparent, maybe just a hair behind us, but it's kind of almost a beam reach. Some of it's maybe just a hair behind us. So we're running pretty deep on the main and the staysail, and then we're gonna run like this for I don't know, maybe an hour and a half or two, and then we'll think about what we're going to do next. It's likely at that point we will drop dead downwind and put our preventer on. So we're pretty much rigged on both sides with preventers, ready to go. So that should be a pretty easy procedure compared to the shenanigans we had on the way down. More experimentation with the hydrovane. I think part of the issue that we have here is we've got 17 knots of wind. I think we probably need to reef the main. About 7:45. We've got we're just inching our way offshore. We're about 7 miles offshore right now. We're headed southish, but we're gonna head a little bit further west to get us further offshore, and once we get a little further offshore, then we'll start turning a little bit more to port, and then that leg is gonna take us about 210 nautical miles, and I think that'll have us kind of coming in close to Bahia Santa Maria at that point. I'll have to look at the chart again, but everything's going well. We've got 20 to 22 knots pretty consistently, and we've got the hydrovane. I had the vane part 180 degrees out of phase, and we were having issues until I remembered that I spun it around to pull a pin out. So it's doing its job. It's working perfectly. We've got a double reefed main. The staysail's out as well. Probably isn't doing much work. We'll probably pull it in once we start driving a deeper course right now. But we're making about 6.5 knots. We're making really good speed, and it's rolly. So you just kind of deal with that, and hopefully neither of us get seasickness or anything like that. 1 a.m. It's my shift. We had all hands on deck for the last hour and a half. We had 25 knot winds, and things getting a little squirrely, and had to get the hydrovane dialed in a little bit better, but things are going smoother. I mean, it's still bumpy out, and we still have 22 knots of wind, but it's a little easier than it was earlier. So I'm gonna come back on deck and let Andy get a couple hours of sleep. 10 minutes till 6 a.m. I'm about ready to go into shift. It's bumpy. We've winds going a little slower. It's more like 16 to 18 now versus the 22 to 25 that we were experiencing last night. It's still pretty bumpy. So we've got about 109 miles or so to go to Bahia Santa Maria, which is on the top of on the north end, kind of outside of Magdalena Bay. And we have about 345 miles to get to Cabo. So we've been chipping away at the miles, and let me show you kind of where we're at on Baja right now. We're, as you can see, we've been heading offshore, further and further. And we've been running reasonably deep on this tack, which means the main and the boom's pretty far out with the preventer, and we're running about as deep as I care to run. So we want to turn to port. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to stay on this tack until maybe about the time that Andy gets off of his rest, off of his shift, and then we'll look at tacking to port. Not too many ships. You do see a couple on AIS out here. 7 a.m. update. It's wind's down to about 15 knots. The seas are a little bit better. And I tried to organize a single-handed jibe, and this salty son of a bitch here got up while he was supposed to be on his rest shift and helped me out. I had everything quite under control, I will say, of course, but made it a lot easier. So it was, we conducted a pretty smooth jibe, got the preventer switched over and everything like that. So we got a boom preventer. Now we're on a port tack with the boom out to starboard. So our speed started to drop off a little bit. So I decided to go ahead and fire up the engine. So we still have the main double reefed up. And I switched from steering with the hydrovane to the autopilot. So our speed dropped off. Wanted to get the engine kind of started for that, but also very importantly, we ran Starlink for a long time, and then yesterday we didn't really motor very long outside of Bahia Tortugas, so we started sailing pretty quickly, and as a result, we overnight with running radar and with all these Starlink and stuff like that, we were down about 317 amp hours, so a little more than 50% in our battery banks. So we have 600 amp hours total. Still have plenty of capacity left, but I like to keep them pretty topped off. Plus, I wanted to start making some water. Serious business going on up in here.
What did you, how'd you put it? The Dumb and Dumber School of Fishing here?
We have zero clues, but we're throwing a couple lines out with these yo-yo Cuban handrails. I've got a cedar plug out, and with a weight, a little bit of a leader. I have no idea if I have the right weight, the right length, none of that. But we're dragging a line, and pretty soon we'll be dragging two. So we're kind of near the, I guess the shipping lanes here. They're not on at least the charts that I've got, but we've got the Carnival of Firenze. And we're gonna pass within a mile and a half, maybe a hair less. They're, yeah, 1.3. They're 5 miles out, so about 10 minutes, they'll be off our beam. And then the Del Monte Valiant is going to have about a 3.3 nautical mile CPA. So Andy's up there. We just reefed the main. We're prevented again. We went back to reefing the main for tonight, and I think that was absolutely the right call. Andy insisted on reefing. Pretty smart of him. Not so smart of him going up on front on the deck, but we are staying clipped in. So we had some weird issues with the radar not picking up targets, and I played around with every setting, reset factory settings and everything, and that's a big bummer, because you know, when I first started using this radar, it picked up it'd pick up a hair on a gnat's butt, and now I don't know if we're really getting much in terms of targets. We've had some close ones, and they're not popping up. Things like fishing boats and things, which should be a pretty good size. So so Andy did a pretty nice job driving last night and everything like that, but when the radar wasn't working, he woke me up, which was good, because I could look at it in real time to try and assess what was going on. I really appreciated that. But then I was just sleeping, and Numbnuts here was letting another boat sail up on us and creep up on us and pass us, and didn't get me up for that. So now we got to take evasive action. We can't let these guys pass us.
Well,
do your job, bro.
Next time you'll be woken up, and I think we should bring down the main and maybe try that head sail alone.
I'm wondering if we should try the ASIM.
Oh,
I'm wondering if I'm
balls deep.
We're balls deep, but I'm wondering if I'm gonna puke before or after we do the.
Yeah, the motion of the boat has not been good for a couple of days. It's been tough.
It has been a rough couple of days. That's all right. We're gonna get on a move here. We're gonna make for speed, but let's shake out this reef first. We'll do that. So we're just in a double reef main.
Up on you because I wanted to give you something to motivate you.
Well, I'll tell you what, mission accomplished. I would say let's first unshake this reef, and then let's embarrass these guys. As soon as I got done talking smack about that other boat, decided to fire up the engine and chicken out and just motor sail for a bit. We got 10 to 12 knots and choppy seas, and without the pole or anything, you know, we could run at some hard angles, but I want to try and get to Bahia Santa Maria a little earlier versus later. So we're gonna roll under motor and try and knock off some miles here. They're still around. I'm like, did these guys bugger off on us?
I don't see them. Yeah.
There they are.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Right here. What's up, guys? Woo! They're just swimming around having fun.
We'll be looking for some spinner dolphin as we get further south.
Coming back.
What a beautiful day. We got our dolphin escort. There he comes.
Just wanted to thank you, brother, for taking me out on this. Pretty cool. Had a great time so far. Right now we're approaching Bahia Santa Maria, and you're down there trying to sort out the VHF issue. I've had a really, really good time so far, man. I just want to wish you a great trip. Be safe, keep in touch, and you know, you've become one of my best friends, and I just want to tell you thanks. Be safe out there, bro.
So I didn't film all this, but pretty confident that the VHF antenna, that there's an issue with that, and this follows the exact same symptoms I encountered before. And the fix for that meant sending the rigger aloft to install this VHF antenna, and he put on a new connector, re-terminated it. And I don't know if I got a clear answer for him. He said at one point that some of these Shakespeare connectors were bad, but the other theory I have is maybe that antennas run a little too tight up the mast, and maybe with all the movement with all this offshore sailing that it kind of pulled or shook that connector loose. But I do know that he used that he shrunk it a couple of times and used dielectric grease and stuff like that to keep the water out. So I know he was pretty I know he's pretty he does like a ton of these. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna re-terminate the bottom side of the cable that's coming down through the mast, and we'll test at that point. We'll test both through the AIS and independently through the VHF radio. There's a chance the guys were working, when I had them install a new bilge pump, they were working in the area with the where those connectors are, and there is a chance that they pulled on the cables and pulled the connector loose or something like that. So that would be the absolute best case scenarios. We fix the connector on the bottom and we're well on our way. But the mysterious thing here was we were getting Coast Guard from San Diego and LA broadcasts all the way down well past Bahia Tortugas, just until last night, really clearly, and we were getting AIS targets picking them up 90 plus miles away. So we had exceptionally good reception down to just about 0. 2 p.m. update. We're just approaching Bahia Santa Maria. It's kind of on the north end, outside of Magdalena Bay. The Mag Bay entrance is further south, but the entrance is right over here. And if you see these rocks on the other side here, that entrance is like 20 miles wide or something. It's crazy, but we're gonna start making our approach here. We'll keep turning to port. There's another sailboat in. He's a little closer than I like to be. We're gonna make our way to port, and we'll be in kind of the northwest end. So we hunted a spot that was going to have the least amount of wind. It's what we were looking for. So you can see a little wind shadow behind us. I've never took this much time to prepare for an anchorage this wide open. We're just backing down on the anchor now. Are we holding? Wad? All right, and he's gonna snub her up, put this in neutral. Feel like we've got a good set. See what we wound up with here. So we did 246.7 nautical miles on that last leg. So far in this journey, 726.5. You could easily put 1,000 boats in this anchorage. I think this is probably maybe a fishing village or something. But this beach just wraps all the way around. Super calm here. I mean, the water's flat. Picked a good spot here, at least for the moment. Unless it shifts, we don't have much wind. So we didn't have to even get into the cliffs or anything like that. So good rest anchorage, not much else to do. We're in 24, 25 feet of water. All right, it's time for cooking with keel dragger, which usually is just have Andy cook, at least on this trip. But we're gonna make some chicken tostadas. So we've got some Tyson chicken, might be pre-cooked. Sorry about that. Monterey Jack cheese, some frijoles, a bag of beans. We've got some Tostito, obviously very, I was really straight from Mexico, salsa to put on them. And we've got some tostadas. So nothing fancy, but nothing but the best for the crew of keel dragger. All right, it's hard to cook because this boat's in such a state of, everything is everywhere. But here we got chipotle chili powder, ground cumin, and black pepper. Okay, we lightly seasoned all of the fronts and backs of these pieces of chicken. Next, we'll put a little bit of, we'll heat up the pan, we'll put a little bit of olive oil, and then we'll start cooking the chicken. Okay, we've got the chicken on. We're gonna cook this till we get a little bit of a crust on it. Okay, the frijoles refritos we'll put in the saucepan here. Let me get the burner going. Chicken's coming along. All right, now we're gonna toast our tostadas. This does not take long. Yes, I did move the smoke detector. Ooh. A little bit of sauce, and we put a little drizzle of lime on there. That's the finished product. About 20 till 7 a.m. Good morning. I think it's Saturday. Super smooth here at the anchorage. Finally, I was joking with Andy. I said, not only did I get the first good night's sleep in a long time, I think I got the only night's sleep in a long time. 10 a.m. update. No cooking with keel dragger episode, but just had bacon and egg breakfast burritos. The fog is burning off. So this is kind of the northwest end. Somewhere over here in this corner, I think where you see the little waves breaking is where you can enter and get back to the mangroves, which are on the north end. And then on the other side of the mangroves, there's like these cool sand dunes. You can take off the choke almost immediately. Maybe not immediately. All right, here we go. Wish us luck. What do you think, Andy?
I think we're gonna be fine. I think we're cautious. We're gonna, it'll be all right.
These fishing boats are fishing right in the anchor, pretty much. Not sure what kind of fish they're working, but what do we see? About 4 of them, pretty active.
Yeah.
Drawing nets and stuff with the little
Pongas too.
Yeah, pongas also. All right, we're coming in on this little fishing village and the entrance to the mangroves, and we're in the waves now. I'm gonna pull us away from these rocks a little bit.
All right, we got little breakers here.
I mean, we can't go any faster than this.
They're small.
I'm gonna try and take her in, so we're a little bit past these rocks.
Oh, here comes a little wave, dog, behind you. Hee-hee!
Woo!
Yeah, boy. There we go.
I can see why you want a little power to.
Okay, carefully. I don't want you to bottom out. We got another little wave coming.
Holy crap! Yeah! Woo! Look at that.
Little village up there.
These look like pretty nice vehicles. I wonder if these are more like glamping cabins.
Yeah.
Or they're just buoys for the mangroves. It's a cool little fishing village. There that we want to go or not?
That's fine.
I mean, we can motor in deep water.
Want to go over there? That looks like it's deeper. Like
Yeah. I think we can motor up in there.
Okay, let's do it.
We're in the mangroves now. See how far we can get before we run out of gas and have to row back. Been down here. Look at this cool fishing village.
He's gonna wake the out of us.
He is. Got this cool little fishing village here, and we saw Ponga ripping down there. I don't see him around in the corner yet. He's coming in.
Yeah, he's gonna dock.
Check this place out.
Got a church. How cool.
About all the way down this end of it to the sand dunes in front of us, which are super cool. Look at that. Our mission here is, we saw this boat. I had a couple of people contact me about this boat on AIS. It was a Canadian flagged boat, the Kittiwake, which was as of yesterday night had transmitted AIS up on the beach on the opposite end of these sand dunes and everything like that. And Andy's got his drone. He's gonna do a flyover, and we'll see if we can get some footage to see what's going on there while we sit here and just hover in the mangroves. Let's do her.
All right.
Nicely done, bro.